Dear students, I will teach you about the quadratic equation, some more examples. Here it is a very key points are discussed. I will discuss some key points. That is from question number 3. It is written, write whether the following statements are true or false. Justify your answer. Even though it may be 1 mark or 2 mark, but it is a vital point on the aspect of quadratic equation. You must go into depth. If you study all these questions, you will guess some deep thoughts about the quadratic equation. First, every quadratic equation is exactly one root. Whether it is false or true, every quadratic equation is exactly one root. I have read earlier about the roots of the polynomials. If it is linear, it has one root, at best one root. If it is quadratic, it has at best two root. At best, what does it mean? If it has roots, it may be no roots, it may be one root, or it may be two root, but it cannot be three roots, four roots, because 3 exceeds 2, 4 exceeds 2. So if it has roots, it has maximum 2 roots, or at best 2 roots. So it has exactly one root. Every quadratic equation, it is totally false. Exactly one root, not it may be 2 roots or it may not be roots. So it is false, because as a quadratic equation has at best 2 roots. It has one root, 2 roots, or may not have any roots. Some examples are there where it has no roots, where it has only two roots, and where it is one root repeated 2 times. Okay. Every quadratic equation has at least one real root. At least one real root. At least also false, because if it has roots, it has no 1 or 2. That 2 roots may be real root. So it may not be that at least 2 root. At least one real root. Okay. Every quadratic equation has at least 2 roots. It is also false, because it may nil 1, 2 or roots or not at all. Every quadratic at least 2 roots. At least means it must have 2 roots. It does not mean like that. It may not be. It may be one root, but at least 2 roots means it must have 2 roots or more than 2 roots. So it is also false. Every quadratic equation has at most 2 roots. If it has roots, maximum it will be 2 roots. So that is the only one case it is true. At best 2 or at most 2 roots. This satisfies the case of nil. If it has a nil, it also satisfies at most 2. At most 2 means it will not cross than 2. It may be less than 2. It will not hamper but it will not falsify the statement. It will false the statement only when it is excess than 2. But it is less than 2. Nil means it is less than 2. 1 means less than 2. 2 means not less than 2. But it is at most 2. So it will false only when it is greater than 2. But if it is less than 2, if it is 0, 1, 2, it is true. Okay. Only when it is greater than 2, it will be false. Okay. If the coefficient of x square and the constant term of a quadratic equation have opposite signs, then the quadratic equation has real roots. It is true. How? If the coefficient x square and constant term of a quadratic equation. What is the coefficient x square is a? What is the coefficient and the constant term is c? Have opposite signs. They have opposite signs. A and C, opposite sign. When they will multiply, it is negative always. If it is positive, it is negative. Multiplication is negative. If it is negative, it is positive. The multiplication is negative. So whatever the case may be, if ax square plus bx plus c, if A and C are opposite sign, then A into C negative. So b square minus 4ac, d is equal to b square minus 4ac, b square always positive, AC is negative, negative into negative, positive. So B square plus positive number is equal to positive number. So D is positive means it has real roots. Have opposition, then Q has real roots. Okay, only when it is the opposite signs. This is described here. If the coefficient of x square and the constant term x square a and the constant term c have the same sign and coefficient of term x is 0, is i there is no x term, then the quadratic equation has no real root, that it has no x term, that is only the x square plus c is equal to 0. If the coefficient of the x square and the constant term have the same sign, a positive, c positive, or a negative, c negative, a negative, c negative, whatever this may be. If positive, if a positive, c positive, ac is positive, a negative, c negative, ac is positive. So whatever the case may be, ac is always positive. So minus for AC is always negative and DC is less than 0. If the coefficient of x square and the constant term have the same sign, constant term has the same sign and coefficient of term x is 0, is the I, there is no term x is it coefficient is 0 means no x term is there, then the quadratic has no real root. How will show this? D square b square minus 4ac, b square b. What is the coefficient of b? No x term means no x term means x square plus bx plus c. No this term, so b is equal to 0. Okay, so b is equal to 0 minus 4ac. What is this? Whatever the case, since they are of the same sign, in any either positive or negative, it is always 4ac is positive, minus 4ac is negative, b square is 0. So d root over a negative number, no real root. We have read earlier that it has no real root. So it has no real root, so it is true. How it is derived? Only by the thinking d. Always take the base is d. How will you arrive at d? You should keep in mind that ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where d is equal to b square minus 4ac. You have to keep in mind on this formula. Okay. If the coefficients of x square, if the coefficient of x square and the constant term have the same sign, and if the coefficient of x term is either positive or negative, then the quadratic equation is always real roots. It is another thing. Let us clarify in an example or basing on the x square plus bxc. Since a and c have the same sign, the constant term and x square, coefficient of x square and the constant term, coefficient of x square and the constant term have the same sign, implies minus 4ac is always a negative, because it has the same sign means just previously same sign either positive or negative. So minus 4ac, positive is positive, negative is also positive. So minus 4ac always negative. B square is always positive, because whatever the power, positive or negative, b square is always positive. So d is equal to b square may be positive if b square minus is greater than 4ac, negative b square is less than 4ac. So b square minus 4ac, b square is positive, it is also positive, it is negative, total negative, positive and a negative. When you will add this one positive number, whether it is positive or negative? Can you say? Suppose 5 plus minus 10. Positive plus and negative? Minus 5. 15 plus minus 5 is equal to 10. It is negative, it is positive. How will derive this? If b square is greater than for a c, b square, suppose it is 16, b square is greater than this, 16 is greater than minus 5, positive, when b square is less than for a c, b square is less than for a c, this is minus this, so overall this, what is this? B square minus 4ac, overall this is positive, this is also positive. Two positive, I told it is wrong. Two positive numbers will be, why it is positive? If they have the same sign. If plus sign, A is positive, C is positive, it is also positive. If A is negative, C is, it is also positive. So overall 4ac is positive, B square is positive. They are minus, two positive, this is wrong. Let's see, two positive numbers. B square minus 4ac, it is positive number, it is also a positive number. Can you say whether it will be greater than 0 or less than 0? Meaning it's positive or negative, that's it, positive or negative. Unless and until their comparison is made, which one is bigger? Suppose 15 minus 16 minus 20 negative is equal to minus 4. Okay, it is positive, b square for ac. So 16 minus 10, it is positive, it is also positive, but it is 6 greater than 0. So there two cases will arise. Only when this case, when the two constant term coefficient and the constant term and the coefficient of x square are of the same sign, then two cases will arise. At that time, two cases will arise. If this will happen, it has two real roots. It has real roots. If this will happen, no real roots. Because if negative, d is negative, there is no real roots. So always real roots, it is false. Now, find a natural number which, now how will solve the questions basing on quadratic equation. You have to form the quadratic equation, then we can solve the questions. Now, as earlier by the method of substitution in the two cases of linear equation, but it is only in one variable x, but it is in quadratic form. Now, question is, find a natural number whose square diminished by 24. Just you, as usual, you let the number be n. Now, square of n square diminished by 84 means diminishment less by 84. It is one aspect. Is equal to, it will be equal to, what it will be equal to? This will be equal to, in which case? Will be equal to thrice of 8 more than, thrice means 3 times, 8 more than the given number. Given number is n, 8 more means n plus 8 or 8 plus n, it's 3 times. Then they will be equal. That is the very, how you will form the equation. Once you construct an equation or prepare the equation, means then it will be easier to solve the question. So this is a very vital point. How you will guess this, how you will imagine this, how you interpret this, then only you can form the equation properly. If the equation is wrong, your answer is also wrong. If the equation is okay, correct, and your calculation is correct, then you will get the correct answer. But first of all, the equation must be correct. If equation is wrong, whatever the result we trace out for any process, ultimately the answer is wrong. Now you solve this. What you will get? You will get this is the final quadratic equation. Which is a quadratic equation? We can solve it by factorization method or using the formula of roots. By factorization method, there are some more numbers are there, bigger numbers. So let us take the quadratic method. It will be more easier. So minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac by 2a. What you will get? You will get 12 or minus 9. So find a natural number. So it does not belongs to n. Minus is not a natural number. So only case 12 is there. So what is the number? 12. Now verify. How will verify this? Given that 12 is the number, its square, 12 square diminished by 84 minus 84 is equal to 3 into this is 144 minus 84, that is equal to 60. Okay, this is equal to 3 into 20, 60. So the answer is correct. Okay, let us solve another problem, time and distance problem, which was read in earlier classes. It is a very day-to-day affairs, time and distance. Now a train traveling at a uniform speed of in this type of mathematics, we generally take the uniform speed. If I will take that, is it possible that the train will take always a uniform speed? Suppose 60 km per hour or 80 km per hour, we are taking the average. But always from 1 minute to 2 minutes, from 2 minutes to 3 minutes, always the speed is same. It is not possible. But in mathematics, generally we are taking, let us take the uniform speed. Let the uniform speed is at a distance traveling 360 kilometers. Would have taken 48 minutes less to travel the same distance if its speed would have been 5 km per hour more. Find the original speed of the train. He is telling that find the original speed of the train. Original speed is not given. It is obvious in this that if the speed is one thing, if you will increase the speed, the required time will be diminished or increased. If the speed is increased, the time requirement will be decreased. If the speed will be decreased, the time required will be increased. So it is obvious that if speed is increased, the time will be reduced, and in the question 48 minutes is less taken for a distance of 360 kilometers. Because whenever the distance, the speed was reduced, for covering 360 kilometers, 48 minutes was less taken because speed was increased. So convert it into hours, because it is given in hours, 5 km per hour, the speed is in hours, so this is 44 by 5 hours. Let original speed of the train be x km per hour, means in 1 hour it will cover x kilometer. To travel 360 kilometers, now we will take the time, what is the actual time taken. Let the original speed of the train be x km per hour. To travel 360 kilometers, time taken x kilometer, the travel 360 kilometer, time taken 360 by x hour. Why? For x kilometer 1 hour, for 1 kilometer divided by x hour, for 360 kilometers into 360, through 360 by x. It is unitary method, so directly it is written here. Time taken to cover the same 360 kilometers. What was the second case? It is first case. The speed is x km per hour. In the second case, what has happened? The speed is increased to 5. That is increased speed. Increased speed. What is this increased speed? X plus 5. Originally x km per hour, increased 5 km per hour. So the total increased speed is x plus 5 km per hour. So what will be the time taken? Similarly, 360 divided by x plus 5. This is bigger or this is bigger? This is bigger. This number is same. If which one is bigger? This one or this one? 360 by a smaller number, 360 by a bigger number. So 360 by a smaller number will be more. Therefore, but the difference in this time, it is the time now. It is time, it is time. This is bigger, I have told you earlier, because it is less means it is bigger. It is bigger means it is, because it is divided. If multiplied, then the bigger multiplication will be bigger one, smaller multiplied will be smaller one. But when the division will be done, it is just the reverse. When you divide a more number, it will be less than the division made by a lesser number. So x plus 5, this is bigger, this is less. So this one will be bigger. 360 by x hour, 360 by x plus 5 hour. So what is the original difference is just told? 48 minutes. That means 4 by 5 hour. So that is the original equation. Original equation. Okay. This original equation you have to simplify it and transfer it into a quadratic form. So what was the case now? It is by, this is the quadratic equation. This one is the quadratic equation. If you will apply the D form, that means formula for roots of quadratic equation, there are so many bigger numbers are there. B square for a huge multiplication or multiplication of a bigger number will be required. Just try to factor by factorization. So what is the process of factorization? Just you remember, it is x square plus 5x minus 2250. Since it is minus, so first number, second number, multiply. First number minus second number. This minus will be transmit to this minus is equal to 5. So what, just by inspection or by just applying your IQ, you just find out 40 minus 5. That is 50, 45. Minus 5 is 50 into 45. That is equal to 220. That has been applied here. So x will be minus 50. So this minus means x plus 50, x minus 45 is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 50, x is equal to minus 40, plus 45 at a minus 40. So which one will take? Speed cannot be negative. So it is obviously that the speed is 45 kilometers per hour. Now let us verify this. How will verify this question? Your result is okay or not? 45 kilometers per hour, time taken 360 kilometers, means 8 hours. When the speed will increase by 5 kilometers, means the speed will be 50 kilometers. 360 by 50, 7.2 hours. 8 hours, 7.2 hours, means 7 hours 2 minutes. 7.2 minutes, no, 7.2 hour. 0.2 hour. 0.2 means 2 by 60 hour. So total difference is less by 8 hours, 0.8 hours. 0.8 hours means 860 by 10. 0.8 means 8 by 10, so 45. 48 means less time is 48 minutes. It is okay. Now it is another, it is a perimeter for arithmetic. In case of in lower classes, you have read about the area of a rectangle or the area of a square. All these things we will apply here, but some quadratic equation will be arise. Just to verify or see, in the center of a rectangular lawn of dimension 50 into 40, 50 into 40. This is 50 meter, it is 40 meter. Means length, breadth. Length is more, breadth is less. A rectangular pond has to be constructed so that the area beyond the pond would be beyond the area beyond the pond. It is pond, the area beyond the pond, all these areas. Okay, areas beyond the pond, except the pond, is 1184 meter square. Find the dimension of the pond. what is the dimension, what should be the dimension of this pond for which the out of the bigger area, if you take the area of the pond, the rest area will be 1184 meter. Then what will be the length and breadth of the pond? In the center means from every side you cannot construct. If the center word is very important, it is not constructed in this way. You see, you cannot construct the pond in this type. It is not the center. Or you cannot construct in this way pond. Pond is center means to every side the equal distance. Then it will be center. Okay, it is written here. It is x meter is the to every side the x meter is left out. So it will be in the center. In the dimension of the lawn is given to be 50 meter into 40 meter. It is given. Since the pond is constructed in the middle of the lawn means middle or the center. Okay, the same thing, middle or in the center means to each side of the lawn let x meter space is left out. The x meter space is left out. So if you left out x meter, this side it is also x, to this side it is also x. So overall what will be this length? If totally was 50, you deduct x to this side, you deduct x to this side. That means 50 minus x plus x, 50 minus 2x meter. So originally it is deducted from 50 to 2x because to each side x meter has been left out. Similarly, what will be the breadth? So breadth, this side is x, this side is x, diminished. So 40 minus 2x. Now what is this? Is 50 minus 2x. This is 40 minus 2x. That is the length and breadth of the pond. So what will be the area? The area is very simple, multiply. But what is the original area of the lawn? 50 into 40. 50 into 40 minus this. What will the gap? The gap is this is 84. You solve this. Then solution is use the same process by factorization. You apply this and find that x is equal to 33 or x is equal to 8. It is no case it is negative. It is positive. So what you will do? Which one? Both numbers cannot be simultaneously both. You verify this. If x is 38, 2x is 74. Can you minus 50 minus 74? Not possible. So only possibility is 8. Okay, it is written here. Clearly it is written here. So this the answer, final answer is 34, 20, 34, 24. You verify this lawn area 24, pond area is 34 into 24. This difference, this is the very important aspect. Why not you are taking discard? Why you this aspect is discard? If your total length is 50, can you deduct total length is, suppose it is 50 meter length. Can you deduct to this side 37 meter, to this side 37 meter? Total 50, how will you deduct 37? Is it possible? No. So only possibility is it deduct 8 meter to this, 8 meter to this. So this will be 50 minus 16. It is equal to 34. Okay. Let us in the next class we will come further examples will be discussed. For this time, let us now close the class. Okay, thanks to all.